All right, we are now recording. Back to Rabbit Fighter. Here we go. You can see I started to do a little bit of inking. Now there was a comment, and I didn't quite get to the comment, so let's take a look. I think this was from Tuco, and it was something about how I'm doing the logo. Maybe I don't understand. Let's see. I gotta get to my channel. By the way, I will be doing a stream this afternoon today at 6 p.m. All right. Whoa. Says, is the D&D themed ones for the game company? Yes, they're for Tarot Quest. Let's see. This looks good. If you want to flip the shadows for an aesthetic look, how about making a U-shape to some degree, so the shadow flip isn't so sharpened by the letter being level. I kind of fixed up the lettering a little bit. I don't know. I like it. I did this little gradient behind it. Says you probably need that font on a separate layer though, and play around with opacity so it doesn't overpower the foreground stuff. I don't think I'm going to have that problem. See, the font is actually gone at this point. This is the layer where the font is. Where is it? Up here. That's the font. See when it goes dark like that? If I take off the ink layer and there, you can see, and wait, this as well. You can see that's a font, right? I don't know if you can see it. Some people see that. But the font is completely gone now. We just used it, we deformed it, and we've added some more magic to it and stuff, and that's what we got now. And I think it looks pretty good. Like this is, that looks pretty nice to me. Might fix up a little bit right here. What layer am I on? Okay, we're on the ink layer. So that looks okay. In any case, let's see how much we can get on drawing Isolde here. I want her to be casting a spell. I'm looking at my hand, and whoops, I literally flipped the stylus around in my hands like I was holding a pencil so I could use the eraser. That's not exactly what I needed. That looks okay. There's a hand. The way her costume works is it's kind of like a cape that kind of comes down. It's a half cape. If you're wondering where her costume came from, when I was originally designing this character, I went on basically Google image search, and I was looking for Halloween Greek goddess costumes because she's supposed to be a Titan. And I sort of made my own based on it, but there's a lot of little elements that you might notice. For example, the half cape is from Mary Marvel, the Shazam family. She, unlike Prometheus Powers, is not a Titan. She's an Arcadian. So in my little comic book world, the Arcadians are kind of like, they were a human race that has magic, and their bloodline is kind of mixed into other human races. So she's originally from another shard, which is more like a fantasy D&D type shard. And there she is. Okay, and her other leg is going to be behind Gallows, who's on this thing. Getting in the geometry of the building, the perspective, the stuff in there is not hard to do with ink. It's the texturing and the details that seems to take a little bit more time. And I think that's where our floor line is. Just like in Corbeau, we're going to be dealing with areas of high contrast where we go all the way to complete black. And I'm going to have to be like figuring out where those are. Now I've decided that these are archways, but I wanted to put, I thought maybe I'd put some curtains behind the archway. And that will allow us to put black in the areas with no curtains. Speaking of layers, I'm going to show you the way I kind of use layers, or at least my philosophy. I don't use a lot of layers or a ton of layers. You can see I've got about 22 layers. That I just put my 22nd layer on here. And the reason I put it on here is because I want to make this cloth fold. I think it's called a diaper fold. Behind her head, but I want to do it in one line, which means it's going to go right over it. You know, it's going to go like that. You know, by putting it on another layer, it allows me to easily erase without hurting the other layers. But as far as like, I don't need a ton of layers. When it comes down to the art, you know, we're talking 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 layers, and I could take this layer, and now that I'm done with it, I could just go pinch and just get rid of it. 1, 2, 3, 4. So I've just folded it into the other layer, and now it becomes part of the regular inking layer. Most of the layers are used for lettering, which is where my real concern is. Or like dark shading is a problem. Now, I've been thinking about using screen tones on this comic because they always look pretty cool. And I've got a nice set of them. That's my gradient. Let's remove the pencils. So you can see, oh, you know, this looks a bit thin right now. If I did use screen tones, that would be, like, that definitely would be on its own layer, you know, just because of the same issue. I want to be able to erase, just like you would use a blade to cut the screen tone. Alright. He's got cowboy boots, so I want to make sure that they look like cowboy boots. And everything is shredded on Gallows. He's been through this pretty nightmarish battle. Let's see. Oops. The thing about cowboy boots, the way the heels wear is the back of the heel kind of wears off. Like that. These are low. There we go. The backstory of how his outfit is, he had this like kind of standardized superhero outfit. when he started out on Wasteworld. But when I first did that comic, I kind of left them there for a couple of years before I went back to it, and I decided that, hey, what if they were there the whole time? You know, on this post-apocalyptic world, what would happen to things like their clothes? And I decided that they would start wearing clothes that would be more appropriate to living in the desert. So we're living in the it's not just a hot desert, it's just a wilderness. So they adopted these sort of Western outfits. Got a pair of boots. Rabbit Fighter himself had a poncho and a hat. And I think that's going to become, it's kind of a feature of the comic, because every time the world changes, they have to get an outfit to change with it. So that's the joke I'm making here. Check out my new duds. And he shows up and he's dressed like a Greek myth hero. He's got a toga on. So they're both going to have outfits that I'm going to take from Jason and the Argonauts. Oh, wait. I was talking to somebody at work yesterday. And he said, I've never seen... which movie was it? The Golden Voyage of Sinbad. Or was it The Eye of the Tiger? It was the one with Tom Baker. We were talking about Doctor Who, and he goes, I've never seen the... I think it's Golden Voyage of Sinbad. I'd like to see it sometime, because it's got Tom Baker in it, and I'm like, yeah, he's great in it. He's the villain. He's the bad guy. The evil sorcerer. I'm wondering if we should just black her knee out so it's, she's a shadow from behind. Yeah, I think that's okay. That looks pretty good. He's got kind of a arm in a sling. I'm debating on the sling. The sling has already caused me one problem too, because I have the scene where he's pulling his mask off. Originally it's facing the other way, and he's pulling his mask off with the other hand, the hand that would have been in a sling. So I changed it. I think by the time we get to the next page, he's stopped using the sling, but it's still in pain. This was on my mind because I recently had a bit of a rotator cuff injury myself, and one of the things you can do is put it in a sling. I don't have my arm in a sling or anything like that. But oh, and there's rips in the mask also. Did I go too big on his head? We have to go back and study the other panels so I can remember how I did this. I think that's about right. His head might be too big. cut a bit of it off like there. Makes me wonder if I should do... I think there's a shadow here. And he's all bandaged up from the last comic. Always a good idea to beat your dudes up. Maybe not. Hold on. What's going on here? What's going on? What's going on here? How about like that? All right, let's take a look at it without the pencil in the background. If I'm going this far, what will I have left to do by the time the live stream comes out? Well, I'll have plenty, I can tell you. I have the first 5 pages outlined, so I could at least, I might even be able to do, I've done it before. Do an entire page on the stream. I don't think it would get done in just the 2 hours, but you know, sometimes I've done it before. All right, so let's figure out. She's got this sort of table that's like a lounging chair. A chaise lounge. If you know that song. I've got to put some architectural and sculptural details in, basically some Greek patterns. That's what I'm planning on doing. For things like the base of this column right here. And then maybe even some patterns on the curtains and some patterns on this lounge thing that we're messing with. Like maybe some patterns around the edge. But there's definitely some shadows underneath this kind of overhang. And I'm liking it. Hang on. Okay, Picasso. And of course, I got to break out my my many speech bubbles. It really starts to come together when you get speech bubbles. Okay, let's see how this would look with screen tones. We're going to take them. They're going to go above. What's layer 21? They're going to go above layer 21. So here we are. That's the new layer 22. And on layer 22, I'm going to go to beat tones, shaders. And I can choose, I have a number of them. It just depends on how dark you want to go. I want to use grainy dots or rough dots. Grainy dots, rough dots. Let's use grainy dots, 45 degrees light. Okay, and make sure we're on our own thing over here. So once we have that, we can be kind of subtle about our shading. The use of using, like, you can do these without a, without this particular shader pack, but what this shader pack does is it makes sure that the dots stay aligned as you put them down. If you don't align them right, you can use them, you can use like just a texture to do it. You're more likely to get a moire if the dots don't align properly. Alright, let's do some shading. We're going to do some shading on this. This is supposed to be round, so down below. And we can do some shading on the inside of the... Oops. On the inside of the curtains. See how that gives some kind of nice dimensionality? This one fell outside of the realm. We are going to do some shading on the inside too, but it's going to be darker. Alright, now, where's the light coming from? There's no obvious light source on the page or on the panel. So the light, you can be kind of arbitrary, but the way that Tom Mandrake showed me is the light comes from the characters. If you don't have a light source, and we can actually decide, I want to have the light is where, oh, she's casting a spell, so we're going to do some magical effects around her hand, so that's going to be the light. So if that's the light source, we can kind of shade in back here. I can fix up my gradient even a little bit more, make it a little slightly more smoother. Okay, now how do we go to this darker variant? We have a couple of options. It's pressure sensitive, right? So I can go as dark as that. It starts out like this, but I can go as dark as that. Or I can go, this is the 45 degrees, I can go to this is light. This can go to dark, and I also have blowout, which goes all the way to black. I'm going to try the dark one. And I'm going to put it on its another layer. I'm going to give it its own layer. And the reason it's on its own layer, as I said before, is when I want to erase it, I don't want to have to interfere with the art that's already done, right? So, like over there, I just covered it up, but I can just erase it, and I can see, her hairline is back, right? Boom. I don't even understand how they have a blowout past this, because this will go to complete darkness. Let's see what we can get rid of. Oh, shucks! Hey, man. Alright, there we go. Just as in real screen tones, you don't have to go right up to the line. You can leave a little bit of a... I'm leaving a little bit of a halo around her. A little bit of white space. And this applies not just to screen tones, but even to inking. If you want to, like if we were going to ink this with just a flood fill, we could still give her just a tiny, millimeter of space over there, and it's fine. There we go. I wouldn't do that for everything on the page, just characters. If you have a character, make the character come forward a little bit with a halo. Alright, let's throw these down. That went straight to blowout, but what we're going to do... He gets a little bit of a halo too. Okay. As we get further and further to the floor, further and further away. We're not as concerned about the halo. That's looking pretty good. All right. Now, why use this instead of just a flood fill black? It's got these other extra patterns and stuff in it. I think they're neat looking. Whoops. Let's go ahead and... And there we go. Now we can go to the other layer for a second and do some more... Whoops. Let's go back to the 45-degree light. More shading. So we're shading the column away from the curtains so that we know that the curtains are a separate entity. Also, shading kind of implies a softness in the material, in the texture. And then we're going to go, hang on. Back to the dark. Might even be able to make it smaller, but... Oh wait, this is should be the dark one. Hold on. This one right here. Just got to remember that there's a neck. There's a neck in there, but we've got to halo out a little bit. Okay. Critical step on the shading is also make sure none of it falls outside of your panel borders. It's pretty common. Happens to, or at least it's common to me. It happens to me all the time. So we're just going to go through and make sure that looks good. Everything's looking good. Oh, we got this little dark area right here. And then tiny halo. Alright, we got one more to do. but I'm going to leave that for later on this afternoon. Please like, follow, and subscribe. Come back at 6 p.m. tonight. We're going to do our stream, and we're going to try and ink the rest of this page. I got 4 more panels to go, including the speech bubbles and everything else. And you know what I'm going to also do? I'm going to also try and, I can't guarantee it, but I'm going to try and go ahead and get roughs for pages 2 and 3 down before the stream even starts. So that way, in the event that we finish this page, we'll be able to jump right into the next page. And it should go pretty quickly. All right. Please like, follow, and subscribe, and I will see you later. All right. Bye.